Hi friends, welcome to Pilates with Tal. Today I'm going to be taking you through a core and leg full body series. So let's get started on the mat. You're going to start with your hands just down by your hips. You're lying down, knees are bent, heels are planted. Can you take a nice big inhale through the nose, breathe all the way in towards your belly, and then let it go through the mouth. Two more just like that. Nice big inhale. Let it go. Last one, nice big inhale through the nose. Let it go through the mouth. And on your next inhale, you're going to interlace your hands. Grasp the back of your head. Can you take a nice big inhale, and on your next exhale, can you curve up into an ab curl? Lower it all the way back down. Keep going just like that. Can you notice if when you're lifting, the lift is coming from your head being pulled up by your hands? If so, can you just try to let the head hang heavy in the hands and instead make the movement come from your rib cage sliding in towards your hips and then that space expanding. Keep going here for 3, 2, last one. Can you hold at the top? Keep that cue in mind of moving through the core, and then can you start pulsing up for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it all go. Place your hands on your hips. Connect to the deepest layer of your core. It's shaped like a cylinder. Can you imagine it closing in on itself? Keep that contraction here as you march your right leg into tabletop. Let it go back down. March your left leg into table. Lower it back down. Continue here, moving from side to side, trying to keep your hips as stable as possible. That's going to be some incredible work for the deep layer of the core here. And then you can always stay here if this is already feeling like a really good stabilizing and strengthening movement for your core. If you want to start to add on, the next time your right leg is in tabletop, can you keep it there? Bring your left leg to meet it. And then can you dip your right toes down, lift back up, dip your left toes down, lift back up. Keep going just like that, switching from side to side. If you start to feel your low back at all, can you bring your hips a little closer in towards your rib cage, plant your rib cage in towards the mat, or make the range of motion smaller. You do not have to touch the mat here. We're trying to train the core, especially the deepest layer of the core, to strengthen instead of letting our low back take over. Option to stay here, or if you want to add on, instead of dipping your right toes down, you can extend that right leg long, bring it back in, left leg goes long, bring it back in, keep going just like that. Are you breathing here? Try to notice if your knee is trying to come in towards your midline instead of staying directly over your hips. And can you make sure that it's staying above the hip instead of coming in? If you want to add on, you can always start to reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And then maybe the next time your right leg goes long, your left arm goes back behind you, bring everything back in, switch sides. Five more sets here. Reaching fingers and toes in opposition with a ton of energy. Last 2. Last set here. And then hug your knees in towards your chest. Take a little rock and sway from side to side. And then when you're ready, we're gonna bring our legs back into tabletop, our arms back out towards the ceiling. Can you start to let your left knee open a couple of inches to the left side? Use your inner thighs to bring it back in. Same thing with the other leg. Bring it back in. Keep going just like that. So knowing that this is a really incredible movement for the deepest layer of your core, including your pelvic floor, can you try to engage your deepest layer even more? Imagine it shaped like a cylinder. It's closing in on itself. Meanwhile, your diaphragm and your pelvic floor are coming in towards one another. With that cue in mind, the next time you open your right knee out towards the right side, can you row your left elbow down towards the mat, lift back up, opposite limbs. Keep going just like that. If you have tight inner thighs or you're feeling super wobbly through the core, know that you can just take this leg movement through a couple inches or a couple centimeters even out towards the sides, and you don't need to move through the arms here. Whatever variation is going to help you feel strong without any tension or pain. You have 3 more on each side. Last one. 1, hug those knees in towards the chest again. Take a little rock and sway from side to side. Then can you start to take that sway forward and back for 3, 2, and 1. Can you transition into your tabletop position? From tabletop, can you start to take a cat-cow here? Can you inhale as you arch the spine? Exhale as you curve. Really moving through the spine here, articulating 1 vertebrae at a time. For 3, 2, 1. Can you pause in a neutral spine? So that's in between those 2 exaggerated movements. Walk your knees slightly closer in together. And then can you keep your right knee bent as you send your toes up towards the ceiling? Tap that knee back in towards the left. Keep going here. Can you stay lifted through the shoulders, really pushing through those hands? If at any point you start to feel like this is a lot on your wrists, can you come onto your fists instead? You're here for 3, 2, 1. Keep that leg high, extend. Can you lower the toes down towards the mat? Lift back up, keep going. For 3, 2, 1. Can you keep that right leg extended? Place your weight into your right hand. Extend your left arm long. Can you lower down and lift back up? Trying to keep super connected to the core here. Trying to only lift the leg as far as you can go without causing any movement in the low back. For 3, 2, 1. Hold. Can you bring your left hand back down? Bend your right knee in, but it's hovering off the mat. And then open it up towards the side and bring it back in. So we're doing the same thing in tabletop as we did on the mat. We're just playing around with how it might feel different with a different relationship to gravity. And then that means you know what's coming. If you want to add on, the next time your right knee goes out, your left elbow comes up, bring everything back to hover. Keep going for 5, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back in. Take a quick cat-cow to reset. And then when you're ready, can you send your left toes up towards the ceiling, keeping that left knee bent, tap it down, keep going just like that. Staying connected through the core, crown of the head is nice and long. So can you notice if you're letting your head drop, that's gonna cut you off from accessing your full breath. We never want that. That can make us quite tired and low in oxygen. You're here for 3, 2, 1. Hold it at the top. Extend that leg. Can you lower your straight leg down? Lift all the way back up. Keep going here. Left leg is nice and long. There's a ton of energy through the toes. For 3, 2, 1. Can you hold that leg up and then extend your right arm long, lower your left toes. Can you lift both limbs? Lower back down. Lift and lower. If this is a lot on your wrists, feel free to come onto your fists and keep going from here. Keeping connected through your core for 3, 2, 1. Bring everything back in. Pause. You're gonna open your left knee out towards the side, bring it back in, keep going just like that. So working through the core, pelvic floor, through the side glutes here as well. And then when you're ready, you're gonna move along with the right arm as well. Elbow comes out towards the side, bring it back in, keep going just like that. Last 5. Trying to keep your core as stable as possible. Last 3, 2, 1. Bring everything back in. Knees come wide. Can you take a child's pose, letting your body have a moment here? And that is the end of your core and lower body flow. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, or leave any suggestions for future videos in the comments. Thank you so much for moving with me, as always.